Hello, welcome to the Daily Bible Podcast. My name is William Hemsworth, and thank you so much for joining me for today's show. We're continuing on in Matthew chapter 21. This is what we popularly known as Jesus entering Jerusalem. This is what we celebrate on Palm Sunday, is Jesus entering Jerusalem and him being celebrated as a king. And we're going to look at Matthew chapter 21, verses 4 through 6 today. Those verses say, "This happened so that what had been spoken through the prophet might be fulfilled. Say to daughter Zion, Behold, your king comes to you, meek and riding on a donkey and on a colt, the foal of a beast of burden." The disciples went and did as Jesus had ordered them. So here Matthew is actually showing Jesus fulfilling Messianic prophecy held in the Old Testament. And this prophecy that he is giving us is actually a combination of two Old Testament passages. One of those is Isaiah 62:11, which is the say to daughter Zion part, and the rest comes from Zechariah 9:9. Now what's interesting is that these two prophecies say the donkey and the colt are actually the same animal. And so Matthew here is using a literary device known as poetic parallelism. So what does that mean for us? Well, it just means that some may think that Matthew may have misread the parallelism of the prophecy. And some people have this idea that maybe perhaps Jesus was somehow able to mount two different animals at the same time. Okay? But here's the bottom line. When there is a donkey and a colt, the colt cannot be ridden without the mother present. Which is why Matthew here links it to Zechariah 9:9. So does it matter that Isaiah is saying that maybe these were two different animals? Not really. Jesus rode in on a donkey, plain and simple. And a donkey is another name for a colt. It's just a matter of interpretation. That's all it is. But here we can clearly see, and it's also in the other synoptic gospels of Matthew and Luke, that Jesus rode in on the donkey to claim, and people they put palms out in front of him. We're going to get to that later on, obviously, praising him as the Davidic king. And then I think verse 6 is very appropriate as well. The disciples went and did as Jesus had ordered them. So here's Jesus the king, and the disciples did as Jesus ordered them. If we're claiming Jesus as our king, are we doing as he is ordering us? Or are we kind of justifying not listening? And in a way, we're kind of putting him second, third, fourth, because we're not doing what he's telling us to do. I think we do that more often than we want to admit. So let's do like the disciples in today's passage. Let's do what he's telling us. Let's make him Lord of our lives, not just on Sundays or whenever you go to church. God bless you. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Daily Bible Podcast. I'll catch you tomorrow. Check out my website at williamhemsworth.com. Have a great day, guys. God love you.